meditation, Barbara Hilt.
Good morning. So, since we're going to be hearing Andrew speak to us about taking control of our health, I'm going to share with you an easy, enjoyable way to be well physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. In the late 60s, some people who had been meditating, doing transcendental meditation, went to the Harvard Medical School and asked that they do a study to see if there were actual health benefits from meditation, because they believed there were. And the only one who responded was Dr. Herbert Benson. And he found that indeed those who meditated were able to lower their blood pressure. And over the years, more studies have shown more wonderful health benefits, such as pain reduction, increased immunity, and even cellular health. Dr. Benson knew that some people would be resistant to the idea of meditating, so he coined a phrase, eliciting the relaxation response. Okay? Same thing as meditation. By learning to elicit the relaxation response, adults and children have learned to be much more in control of their own physical, emotional, mental health, and even their social well-being. So, when you go home, you can Google relaxation response. So let's relax now. Sit comfortably in your chair. I suggest you uncross your legs, your hands, put your hands loosely on your lap, and if you choose to, close your eyes, and take a few nice cleansing breaths. And each time you exhale, allow yourself to relax more. It could help by doing a sort of a scan, either starting at the top of your head or at your feet, and working one way up or down your body, and letting go of any tension, anything that you're holding anywhere in your body. So take a few breaths, and I'm going to ask you now to just focus on your breath. And on each out-breath, each exhale, say to yourself silently the word one. So we're going to do this now just for a few minutes and see if you can elicit the relaxation response. So, when you're ready, open your eyes. And the reason I asked you to focus on a word like one that has no particular connotation with you is so that you can stay focused on the present moment and on relaxing. You can choose another word. I personally like to choose the word love, because when I meditate, I like to try to bring in the love that I know surrounds me at all times. But you can do this whenever you feel the need, whenever you're feeling any slight anxiety or tension. Just remember that for your health, if for no other reason, relax. Elicit the relaxation response. You can do it sitting or walking in your garden or by the lake, but try it and see if it doesn't bring you more inner peace and wellness. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. Our speaker today is Andrew Kolesnekov. Fire your doctor and become instantly better. That's why we're here. Each of us is ultimately responsible for our own wellness, and nobody knows our body better than we do. Andrew Kolesnekov comes from Sochi on the coast of the Black Sea in Russia. Formerly educated as an engineer at the University of Transportation in St. Petersburg, Russia. He worked as a systems analyst for the large corporations in the U.S. Took time off for travel through Central America and never looked back. So please welcome Andrew Kolesnekov.
Okay, for most of you who don't know me, and the name is correctly Andrew Kolesnekov, and probably that's going to be the right way to spell it. But let's get to the topic. And the question arises, should you fire a doctor? Could you? And the answer to the both question is yes. Let's start with a brief history of the modern medicine. And again, here we're going to talk about the modern medicine, allopathic medicine, the one that's predominantly exists in the so-called developed world, and that's the primary focus of today. I'm mostly familiar with the state of the medicine in the United States, so that's going to be the primary example and the discussion. American Medical Association was started in the 1847, and the primary focus at that time was the herbal treatment, natural treatment, and that was as close as natural as possible. And the thing was fragmented. I mean, the whole medical industry was fragmented till the beginning of the 20th century. I believe it was the 1910 when it caught the attention of the big money, and then when the things start changing. The initial, I mean, like any fragmented industry, it caught attention of the Rockefellers and the Carnegies. And what started then, they sent the guy out, and he went from door to door of all the medical schools, and he actually did a study on them. And as a result of this study, they start donating like millions and millions of dollars into the medical school, into the medical profession, and that's where the thing starts really changing. So they decided they can make more money on the pharmaceuticals, and they started at the source. And that's where it's progressed from and snowballed from that place. And if you look at the current state of the education of the medical doctors, I mean, sometime back in time, I guess it was the noble idea to treat all the people equally, treat them for the better health. but it kind of got twisted and convoluted because when the big money involved, it all goes for the efficiency, and all the money right now is in the pharmaceutical, in the drugs, in the treatments, in the procedures, and nobody cares about the actual health by itself. So, you can ask your doctor to start with the premises, you can start asking very simple questions to a doctor, like what study he did in the school, for example. What was the most prevalent studies? And the answer is going to be drugs and surgeries. Then you got to ask from here, like, what are like a success rate? Is it 50%, 30%? It's going to be even less. I'm guaranteed. And then you're going to ask, what are the side effects of the procedures or treatments that he's going to prescribe you? And I guarantee the laundry list is going to be as big. You're going to be reading it forever. That case is sometimes where the treatment is worse than the disease itself, and that's no joke. If you read the side effects on most of the drugs, it's gonna cause you headaches, stomach aches, you're gonna throw up, you're gonna might die, but still, we recommend it anyway. So keep going. So you walk into the doctor's office, feeling something wrong with your body, something out of whack, and the doctor looks at you, and the first things he does is actually asks if you're worthy enough. So if you got the money, if you got the insurance, if you can pay for it. If not, guess what? You SOB out of luck. So good luck with that. So what kind of Hippocratic oath is going to cover that? And none. So that's the side of the industry. But you can understand, when you have to look at the whole concept of the modern medicine as a big conglomerate. You can't even blame the poor guys that go to the medical school. Oh, by the way, I want to ask you, is anybody at the audience do not go to the doctor? Raise your hand. Excellent, excellent. It's not wasted at all. Like when you look at the whole industry as itself, it's all based on efficiency, on the generating profits, and nobody even gives a damn about your state of your health. Who cares? As long as they're able to pay, we're gonna treat you. As long as you can buy, as long as you got the customer and he's coming back for more, we're back in business. And that's business where all the money involved. Like, look at all the money spent on the advertisement, on all the equipment. The costs are exuberant because everything feeds on itself. Like, the moment you walk into the door, you're like walking checkbook or whatever, the source of income. And you can't blame the doctors by itself. He has the student tuition, he has the insurance, reinsurance to pay, and all this stuff. And if he opens his mouth and says something out of whack, like, I can't do anything for you, you have to treat yourself, change your lifestyle, the current medical association gonna have him disbarred. He's a wacko. So he can't do anything else for you. So you gotta stop going and listening and treating yourself, thinking that somehow there is a common sense, a treatment that's gonna help you at the doctor's office. Like, even the mental, even the psychological aspect when you walk into the doctor's office, it's kind of, is anybody enjoying going to the doctor? Okay, that's a hypothetical question, but anyway, the industry by itself, and then again, here's another aspect. We all looking for the quick solution, painless solution, maybe pleasant solution, and when it's done yesterday, that way we were actually looking for something outside yourself to provide us with the relief of whatever illness we have or discomfort, pill, injection or treatment, and that's gonna cure us like that instantly, which is not gonna happen, I guarantee you. And aside from that, so the whole industry based on the illusion that they might help you somehow and provide the relief. But, I have to make an honest disclaimer. There is still a place for the modern medicine, allopathic medicine in our life. When emergency, you got fall from the sky and the smack on the ground, and they're gonna pick you up, scrape you from the asphalt, and put back together, wherever attached, is get good as new. Even replace some parts. But it's still, you're gonna be in very nice shape. And that's the best part. They're very proficient at the emergencies. When you got any accident, when it's impossible to deal with this stuff, that's fine. But with nobody, and nobody with a chronic illness, I don't care what kind of illness they've got, should go to the doctor, with the modern doctor. Because, as I said, the treatment by itself is going to provide worse results than your actual disease by itself. Nobody dies, but actually, let's take the extreme example, like cancer, any cancer. The treatment by itself, nobody dies actually by the cancer by itself. Most of the people actually die from the treatment. If you look at it, and you're gonna suffer. If you go out peacefully, by itself, maybe use some relief. I don't know, use the pot. Maybe use the coke, whatever, to relieve the pain. It's gonna be less painful. I guarantee that you're gonna submit to current treatment. Ask your doctor if he's gonna by himself submit to the chemotherapy. No way. They're gonna die just to go through the whole pain. That's just the extreme example. And so with all this negative stuff, and you all got depressed, and finally, what should we do? And you ask, well, Andrew, and if that's so bad, what's the alternative? Well, I'm glad you asked. That's why I probably came. That's the right question, lady in the second row. What's the alternative? Well, first of all, you count the money that you spend in a year, you double it, and you sign the check to me. And you're done. Well, on the serious note, we all grown up, and the main thing, you have to decide to take your own responsibility for your own health.
Amen. Amen.
I'm preaching to the choir. Excellent. Sounds like a sermon. Okay, so, and that's a scary thought for all the people around you. That group of people sitting right here, it's probably 5% of the total population, and it's advanced more than anybody else, and you understand what I'm talking about. But if I say to somebody else on the street, hey, listen, you gotta take the responsibility for your own health, for your own body, for your own mind. Well, he's gonna look at me like with a starry eye and say, "You crazy, you crazy." I mean, it's been for ages that you go to the doctor, you get your treatment, you get well. You're sick, and you keep continuing your sick, and you die. I mean, but there is alternative. When you take the responsibility of your own health, wellness, and being, what's gonna happen? You're gonna get well. I guarantee it. You're gonna be feeling much better than you spend going to the doctors and wasting your time and taking the pills. It was gonna make you worse, and the cycle goes on and on. But if you stop the whole thing, the whole charade, the whole cycle of self-destruction, that's what I call it. And start looking around, start asking questions, wonderful things start coming into your life, like everything else. I mean, when you finally realize that you're at the center of your being, that you're a creator of your wellness, of your reality, that you're responsible, that everything happens in your life, wow, different world opens up. And what's gonna happen, that the solution by itself is gonna come to you like, like a magic. It's strange things, which is not strange, which is actually essential things starts happening to you. The solution gonna come, you're gonna open the book and read the chapter, how to heal yourself, and what the condition looks like, and what's the relief. And that's actually kind of looks scary and unusual, let's put it this way, for some people to get rid of the doctors and start looking after their own chronic conditions. But there is nothing unusual in that. If you think about it, if you look about it, if you think about it, if you keep asking right questions, most of the things gonna open up for you. But just to start up and keep yourself moving, you gotta start somewhere. So you're gonna ask the question. Well, Andrew, I mean, this is all wonderful. We're responsible adults. Almost took the responsibility. So what should I do? I'm glad you asked. First step, simple steps. You don't need to make like a drastic change. I spent like 15, 20 years trying different approaches to the nutrition, exercise-wise, like changing lifestyle. You're not gonna be like able to jump quantum leaps like tomorrow. Like you said, I want to get well. That's it. I'm done. So tomorrow you wake up and you like totally new being and new body, like muscular, athletic, energized, and jumping up and down. No. It may be long and convoluted and uncomfortable process, and I guarantee you. But as long as you have a choice, you can do it, and you should do it. So small, simple steps, even baby steps, it's better than nothing. So first one, you decide, and then you start taking action. What kind of action? Let's say, you review your environment. Start reviewing your environment. What do I mean? Simple things. The air we breathe, the water we drink, the food we eat, the thoughts we produce, the mood we generate daily. There is no small things that affects. There is not one thing. I can sell you like exotic berries from the Altai Mountains in Siberia that nobody heard of, and you're gonna be happily to buy it from me. But it's not gonna do you a damn thing, I guarantee it. No, I'm serious. If you sign up, Okay, but the simpler steps as the most effective one. And that's proven ages and ages and ages. Let's review something. For example, air, sunshine. We've been taught that the sunshine is bad for you. Nah. The more sunshine you can get, the better. The problem is our skin, our body got so toxic that when we expose ourselves to the sunshine, we get the reaction on the skin, we get the conditioning worse, so it's not that beneficial from the get-go. So you need to do it progressively. So you can't jump, if you can't swim, you can jump in the deep end of the pool with both feet and expect to cross the Olympic pool back and forth. No. So you go to the kiddie pool, and that's how you need to get started. So clean air, a little bit of sunshine, starting early in the morning or late in the afternoon. That's the easy step. Can you do it? Of course, anybody can do it. Effective? Yes, effective. And we got two of those right here in the heat, so we don't have to go anywhere. Now let's get to the water. Water in the States is municipal one is contaminated, mostly by the fluoride and some other chemicals they managed to squeeze into the supply. And it actually bugs me the heck why you actually want to put the waste product of the chemical industry in the human water supply. What benefit is there? None. Except for the big pharma. And I tell you it's a big secret, but it's not secret anymore because anybody knows that. Everybody knows that. With the fluoride, you have the effect on your pancreas, and that way they actually slowly but surely destroy your health, and then they can sell you more of the same stuff. And that's the whole industry. Constant customer base. Besides, they got the wonderful idea how to get rid of the fluoride like a waste product of the chemicals, because you can't dump it, it's so toxic, so they put it in the water supply. No, it's no joke. That's how convoluted the industry is, and we got so conditioned by our environment. I'd say that we don't even notice these small things, but the small things that actually make all the difference in our life. The smallest, simplest things. If you start looking around, you notice, why we're doing this and that. Nobody did it before. If you even look at, back on the medical industry, we used to have a good doctor who made house visits, and he looked at you, take your pulse, spend some time with you, moaning and all this stuff, and give you the aspirin, and told you to stay in bed, and that's it. So there's nothing else he can do for you. But these days, you go walk into the office, they don't do the home visits because it's liability, and they can't touch you because it's also liability, and they need to wear like 3 pairs of gloves just to, touch you in the right or wrong places. So it so got twisted that we're not even noticing it anymore. But the good thing we're in Mexico, so we kind of look back, look around, and start asking questions, because everything looks in the distance much clearer than it is, close enough. So the water. So the clean water is the very important stuff. Everybody tells you to drink lots of water, and we got plenty of water here in Ajijic. So, and you can treat it or not treat it. It's up to you. I'd say don't use any chemicals in your pool. Don't use any chemicals in your water supply. UV light and a filter probably fine, and you're good to go. So, And another thing we don't really notice, I mean, these days, like even when you take a shower, that's where the most absorption of the happens. Like whatever traces you have in the water, it's actually go through your skin. Like when you take a shower, it's like drinking 8 glasses of water, believe it or not. So be very careful what you got in contact with. So, simple stuff. Air, sunshine, water. What else? I mean, who knows? Here's the question. Who knows that the salt is bad for you? Salt. Salt is bad for you. Who knows salt is good for you? Wow. I'm in the right place. Okay. Again, there is a salt and there is a sea salt, and there's a huge difference. It's like a drug and not drug, whatever. The one that commonly used in the Western world is like a table salt, is chemically altered, thermically processed, which is probably poisonous substance that you never have to get in contact with. You probably kill an, well, you can use it to kill an ant, I mean, and all this stuff, but you never should use it in your cooking or food supply. So, and what should you use? Sea salt, of course. I mean, but then again, there's the sea salt and there's the sea salt. So the one you're looking for is slightly moisture substance. When you put it in your tongue, it dissolves without aftertaste, pleasantly harsh chemicals and all this stuff. Because, I mean, right now the industry kind of getting smart, and the way they pump the sea salt, they use some machinery and all this stuff. The one you're looking for is probably the hand-processed, manually collected, sun-dried, with all the trace minerals, which is a wonderful substance and is gonna do good for your health. Why? Well, the answer is really simple. I mean, we don't have to go to the evolution, but we all come from the ocean, I guess, let's say, and the ocean is saline solution and all this stuff. So it should match, well, if you look at your blood thing, I mean, it should you match your body type and all this stuff, let's put it this way. It's a topic of different discussion, because the sea salt, the benefits, the wonders, I mean, it can do for you, it's endless, and we can talk for hours on that as well. So, usually sea salt, when you drink your water, for each quart or for each liter, for you Canadians, you add a pinch of salt that's gonna make a pleasant taste. To taste it even better, you add a drop of lime juice or lemon. We don't have lemons here, so use the limes. And it's going to improve the taste, and besides, it's going to make the water more alkaline, which is also beneficial for all this stuff. Okay, so with the sea salt in your diet, I mean, and you do it slowly. Remember, I mean, from the childbirth, I don't know how is yours, but we all got exposed for all kinds of different stuff, different chemicals, different food, and to make the change, I mean, you can't do it overnight. Your internal environment is kind of got twisted, and to put it back on the right track, it takes time. How long? I don't know. I mean, for each person, it's kind of individual. Because nobody gonna look at you and say, hey, listen, you did this and that, and it's gonna take 2 weeks. No, I mean, it's, nobody knows your body like you do, and to assess how long it takes the whole process of getting back to the health, I mean, I'm not even talking about the excellent health, but let's say like the state of health, like when you were 20, 15 years, when you're jumping with joy, when you're having all the energy, but I mean, it's all relative, but still feel better than you have through your adult life. It's gonna take time, and I guarantee it's gonna work out. And how long it takes, it depends on your lifestyle, your nutrition, how long it's been. I mean, what kind of food you eat, what I don't know, what you do, and what your mental setup is gonna take time. So nobody besides you, even you, I mean, even you can tell how long it's gonna take. But you're the one who's gonna tell at what speed you can proceed, because you can relate to your body like no one else. So, because you're gonna go and feel if it feels right, if it feels wrong. I mean, should I take this or that? You wake up one morning and you don't feel too good, and this and that, so you skip this and that. But as long as you keep pushing, keep doing this stuff, it will come. I mean, there is no way about it, because everybody did it, I mean, besides you, and there is a proven results, and it works, and there is no question about it. That's a side note. Okay, and so we discussed the sea salt. Let's go to the lifestyle change. Here's the interesting and vast topic, but we can touch it as well. Oh boy, we're running out of time. Lifestyle change. In our Western society, it's a blessing and a curse. We got so much convenience, so much comfort that we don't practically have to do anything. Like, we don't have to get up in the morning. I'm telling you. I mean, we got the TV setup, internet setup. I mean, you want to call anybody in the whole world. I mean, I just press the button, I'm done. I mean, time zones, who cares? I mean, Japan, Tokyo, Europe. I mean, I can talk anytime. They can put it on the big screen. I don't know why I even come out of the house anymore. So, but here's the thing. I mean, I'd love to pay somebody of you to do the push-ups for me, but it doesn't work like that. I'd love to, but I have to get my ass up and keep going. And you should do the same. I mean, there is no other way of doing things. You gotta get moving. I mean, I don't care what you do, what you excuse. I mean, crawl out of bed. I mean, just crawl out of bed and fall down and crawl again. But you gotta do it. I tried. Okay. I need to wrap it up, but okay. So any form of activity is better than none. Any form, and I give you one reason of why. I mean, even walking across the Ajijic on the cobblestone and falling down is still better than nothing. There is two big circulation system in our body. That's a blood type, and that's everybody kind of concerned and focuses. But forget about it. How about the other one, the big one, even bigger one? Who knows what it is? Lymph? Exactly. And the only way you can pump it is by the muscle, by the moving muscle. So, and even the calf, I mean, the calf muscle who pumps that circulation system, that's where all the toxins get carried away, all the nutrition pushed and all this stuff. So it's very, very important to keep it pumping. And the only way to do it is walking, exercising, moving, jumping, crawling, I don't know, I mean, doing the flip-flaps, flip-jacks and so forth. So that's really, really important. And the last but not least, but another vast topic is the mental, is the psychological. That I consider at that day and age is the probably most important. I mean, what do I mean? I mean, I give you an example. I walk around and I see a lot of people walking around, maybe not in a heat, but with the concerned look and the concerned expression on their face, even depression, I don't know. I'm asking, why? What happened? I mean, nothing. I mean, and that's how they conditioned, even from birth or wherever. I mean, if you express something joyful for no apparent reason, I mean, it looks strange, but you gotta get over it. I mean, it might strange to somebody else, but for you, it should be normal state of well-being. And we can get into the whole theme, but I tell you what, on the hormonal level, when you express your joy, it sets the whole chain reaction in your body. I mean, it produces the natural hormones that regenerate, rejuvenate, even makes you younger. Believe it or not, but that's true. I mean, it's even the most powerful that the whole thing I explained before, but it's even more important than the, I mean, you can lack anything. I mean, nutrition, you name it. I mean, no sea salt, whatever. But if you go around depressed, with the down state, with the negative attitude to anybody, I mean, it's gonna reflect on your own body right away. It's even worth 10 times, 100 times more powerful than anything else. I mean, so that's what I consider the primary aspect. But to get in, I mean, to discuss it, it's gonna take all different, 24 hours and another pots of coffee or whatever there, just to get into that stuff. We have time? No, okay.
Time for questions?
Yep.
We'll get to you. Hold your hands up. While I'm getting there, I would like to just ask the entire audience, who has to raise your hands if you've never been to a dentist? Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I think the most important point is that we are all responsible for our own health. I would like you to look around. I would guess the average age here is 73. I am 80. May I ask how old you are?
Sure, I'm 36.
How old? Yeah, I don't think it's funny. I think it's, you want to hear the truth.
No, I'm 47.
You see, sir, when I was 47, I too could have given this talk.
That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing.
Thank you. Now, what most of us here would like to hear is the word death. D-E-A-T-H. Everyone here, well, many of us do. She isn't. How many of you would like to hear about death?
None.
And the reason being, why?
Rosemary, I think that's a topic for another day. Let me finish. We will have that, but let's move on now.
Well, you get my point.
The in life of vaccine.
Here's a comment.
Is that good enough? Okay. No? Closer? Okay. Thank you very much. And I take your point that the pharma industry has lots of excesses, especially in the developed countries like the US. But could you explain how it is that, let's say, in the 1800s, after the AMA was founded, and being mainly concerned with herbal-based medicine and person-to-person attention and so on, that the average life expectancy was, I don't know, 45, 50 years, and now it's 75 or 76 or 77 for men and somewhere in the 80s for women. Could you please explain that, even with this commercialized medicine? Thank you.
Sure. And that's an excellent question. And the reason for the life expectancy is actually declining right now. But anyway, the reason for it's not the modern medicine. What do you say? I mean, not what exactly you think. It's actually improving all the water supply, of the waste management, improvement of the food supply, and better education on the hygienic treatment and all this stuff. Because if you remember, like the doctors during the Civil War, like the French and English doctors, there was a study there. One of them were using like more clean. They used to wash hands and that reduced the death rate and all this stuff. I mean, in the hospital. So the answer to your question is not the advance in the medicine, basically advance in the environment. Because if you look at the whole state right now, I mean, the water is much better. Because before that, where did they drop the sewage? Right on the street, and where the poor people collected their stuff on the street. So it's all got cross-contaminated, rivers, streams. There was no waste management. So I'd say it's the other way around.
One comment I would like to make. When the Association from Doctors was formed, the common practice was for people in wagons to run around the country, standing on the back. Oh, the snake oil is a wonderful thing, and this will cure you, and that'll cure you. The reason for these things being formed was to stop some of those false claims. And, it has been emphasized in some ways, but if we didn't have the FDA, if we didn't have the Medical Association, there would be no controls whatever on whatever anybody told you. Now, about 30 to 33% of the population will respond to placebo. Now, if we figure out what causes that positive response, we'd have the greatest medical advance there is. But, I see one other question I would like to ask. Is it, to raise your hand, if you've never been to a doctor? Now, the thing is with me, had I not been treated several times, I would not be here.
Same. There are lots of people.
Yeah, so there's a balance to this, I believe. I think there's a balance. We have this one here.
Yeah, my name is Lester. I've been in Ajijic for a few years. Odd thing happened to me when I came down. Well, by the way, someone made the comment, no one knows their body better than the person living in it. And my body has lived with me for a long time, so I thought I knew it. But anyway, when I moved here, for some reason, I lost my appetite. But I didn't reduce my exercise. I've done exercise all my life, snow skied, raced, rode mountain bikes, golf, everything. So about 3 weeks ago, because I hadn't been eating, I went up to my usual Tuesday golf game at Atlas in Guadalajara, and I pulled my golf bag out of the back of my car, put it on my shoulder, and I could barely make it to the pro shop because I was so fatigued. So that was a signal. So I put the bag back in my car, drove home, took a 2-hour nap, went to see a doctor in Chapala the next day, and we had a 1-hour consultation come to find out, I had been burning twice the calories than intake. And what was happening, because a blood test the next day proved this, is my red and white blood cells were dangerously low. And he said if I wouldn't have come that day, in 2 weeks I would have been in intensive care. So my point is, you've got to balance, and you made the point, you've got to balance exercise and calorie intake. So just be very careful about that. Thank you.
Here's one here. I appreciate your talk. I think a lot of us have gained some insight into, it is a big racket. One of the things that I'd like to ask you personally, have you fasted? And if you have, would you recommend it?
Yes, I did, and I would recommend it. And again, I mean, it's very individual. I mean, you can fast 24 hours, 36. For me, it's easier 36, like on a weekly basis, once a week. So it's easier for me because I'm kind of not the usual type of, let's put it this way. But it gets in the habit, and you feel actually wonderful. I mean, it gives your body a rest, and it gets in a habit, and you kind of get addicted to that lifestyle. I mean, not that I highly pushing on anybody, but it makes wonder.
Here's another question.
Hi, I think that everyone would agree that we're responsible for our own bodies and our own health. However, you started out briefly with the history of the AMA and the medical profession. You didn't mention, of course, insurance, which injected its power into the AMA and caused some big business. What I'd like to say is I think we've all been to a doctor at one time, and I will tell you, I have never been to a doctor who asked me if I had a checkbook and I could pay for it, and that would include my husband, too.
This question over here.
Okay, thanks so much for the speech. Thanks so much for the speech. And I just
Hold it closer to your mouth.
okay, like this. Okay. I just want to say something. We are being told about things we must take to be healthy. A lot of things is just going to express like this. A friend of mine has a Ferrari. He said to me, I'm going to drink gasoline. I say, why? Oh, because the Ferrari runs so much and I want to run as a Ferrari. And I say, no, that is not good for humans. So, what he say about on the beginning of this conversation is if we can fire our doctor, if we visit our doctor, if we use the doctor. I think the speech is like that. I have been not used doctor for several times because any medicine have been prescribed has a side effects. So, if I have a problem for my stomach, what I'm going to do? To stop to eating and eat what is proper for my stomach. So, if I have problems with my eyes, the same thing. Everything in our own life and our own body is working as it is. What we need to do is give the proper things to the own system, meaning good food. He already talked about that. If you read about any substance you put on your body, is how it's going to react to your body. It's like my friend with the Ferrari, he's drinking gasoline because he wants to be faster as the Ferrari.
We have one here.
I just wanted to mention, go back to the sea salt and regular salt. I am a user of the sea salt, but you know what they're doing here in Mexico? Because on the box it said that they're putting fluoride in it, so watch it. I don't know why they're putting fluoride in it. Why? When sea salt itself has all the minerals we need. And so I just want to mention, if you're going to switch to sea salt, Mexico makes a big quantity, and they are on the shelves, but check it for fluoride, because it's a chemical fluoride.
Do you know if fluoride is put in the municipal water system here?
No. That's what I've heard. I mean, check, because to put the fluoride, it costs money. I mean, and the taxes you guys paying? No. I mean.
So is your answer no, there is not fluoride in the water?
No.
Okay.
There is no fluoride.
How about the bottled water?
You gotta check the label. Which one?
I'd like to make a mention here. I happen to be 89 years old. I've been involved in alternative medicine for a very long time, very conscious about diets and that. But the one thing I will say, we need our doctors. Let them diagnose for us, and then you have an opportunity to make up your mind how you want to treat it. But I don't know, you said you'd just leave it go and everything would come to you. By the time it comes to you and you've had no information, no help, it may be too late to do anything. So I would say we better stick around to those who know and let them help us to make a choice of how we want to handle it. Because without, we ain't going to be here too long. Thank you.